Hello everyone. After practicing mole ratio, now we start in our proper chemical calculation. Right? So this lesson is exceptionally important because this method is going to last you throughout all of the different calculations, every single one of them. Right? So let's look at how the question is phrased. So we are given calculate the mass of calcium oxide. So we need to know which one is calcium oxide. So calcium oxide, let me just highlight it in this color for you. This is calcium oxide. So I want to find the mass. So let me just write here, question mark grams. Right, I hope you are annotating it with me. Right, obtain when 5 grams of calcium carbonate. So I got calcium carbonate. Let me highlight it in another color for you. So this is calcium carbonate. And I told there's 5 grams. It's heated strongly until there's no further change. So I need to find out how much calcium oxide is actually formed. So the way to do this questions or these type of questions is that we must always remember that we need to go back to the mole ratio. We cannot compare ratio of masses because every substance has a different molar mass. So we need to compare the difference in the mole ratio. We need to compare the moles. So actually, this type of questions always have 3 steps, around 3, okay? And I'll break down the 3 steps to you. So first, I have a given, right? As you see over here, I have a given. I have a mass of given, either volume of given or the moles of given, either one, right? And then I need to find the unknown. So over here, I am given the mass over here. And then I want to end at the mass of unknown, which is over here. So the first step I need to do is to convert the mass to the number of moles. This is my first step. Now the second step is normally around the same. That once I get the moles of the given, I need to find the moles of the unknown by using the mole ratio. Remember the previous lesson? Mole ratio. Okay? And in this case, you can see that the mole ratio between a calcium carbonate is 1:1. How do I know that? You look at the coefficient at the front. Right? And then after finding out the moles of the unknown, I need to find the mass of the unknown. So I need to go over here. So in this question, you can see that there's always these 3 steps. First, find the number of moles of the unknown, then find the mole ratio, and find the mass of the unknown. Now, I hope all of you all would be able to arrange your answer in a very neat manner. So I urge all of you all, before you start any of these questions, always divide your page into at least 3 segments. Right? So for the first segment, the first part, 1, we are going to find, right, the number of moles of calcium carbonate. Okay, so you can see the N, usually I use it short form as number of moles. After you find the number of moles of calcium carbonate, you need to use your mole ratio. That is the second step. Okay, that's 2. And then the third step is finally you need to find the mass of your calcium oxide. Alright, so I hope that you understand this neat process. Alright, first find the number of moles of calcium carbonate, use the mole ratio to find the moles of calcium oxide, and then after that find the mass of calcium oxide. Okay, it's always in this sequence. Now, so let's try this question. So I need to first find the number of moles of calcium carbonate. How much calcium carbonate? 5 grams of calcium carbonate. So you should know that if I want to find number of moles from mass, I need to use molar mass. So the molar mass, I'll call it MR, right, of my calcium carbonate is equals to 40 plus 12 plus 3 times 16. Okay, and because I've done this many times, this is actually 100. Right, so what does 100 mean? 100 means that 1 mole of calcium carbonate, right, let me zoom in for you, 1 mole of calcium carbonate is actually equivalent to 100 grams of calcium carbonate. But in this question, I'm given that there is 5 grams of calcium carbonate. So if 1 mole is 100 grams, right, 5 grams of calcium carbonate is actually 1 divided by 20, right, or 5 divided by 100. right? Maybe I write 5 divided by 100, then it's easier for you to understand. It's actually 5 divided by 100 moles. And based on my calculator, 5 divided by 100, that would be equivalent to 0.05 moles. Okay, for 5 grams. Now that I know that calcium carbonate is 0.05 moles, I will write my working like this. So I need you all to follow the working. Calcium carbonate is to calcium oxide is 1:1, the mole ratio. 1:1. Okay. Then I write down what is my known calcium carbonate is 0.05 moles. And then the mole ratio here is 0.05 moles. Okay, because it's 1:1, right? Next time we will try questions that is not 1:1. Right? So now I know that there's actually, let me write here in blue, there's actually 0.05 moles of calcium oxide. Now I need to find the mass of calcium oxide. So again, I need to calculate the MR of calcium oxide. So calcium oxide is equals to 40 plus 16. You should know how to calculate the MR. So that's 56. And what does 56 means? 56 means that if there's 1 mole of calcium oxide, is equivalent to 56 grams. Right? So if 1 mole of calcium oxide is equivalent to 56 grams, now this question says that I have 0.05 moles of calcium oxide. How many grams would that be? So that is equivalent to 56 times 0.05. So therefore the final answer based on my calculator will be equivalent to 2.80 grams. And then I'd like to put a sign or underline to tell us that that's the final answer. And you realize I put the final answer as 3 significant figures. So final answers are always to 3 significant figures, and any intermediate step must be in decimal but does not need to be round off. Right? So that is the first question. Try, repeat yourself, copy this down and try to make sense of it. And then I'll see you for the next question to learn how to do these style questions. Right? All the best. Bye-bye.